Welcome to your Straight Razor Edge Friday special. Straight talk about straight razors for beginners. Hey, Eric here with Adventures in Wet Shaving, and welcome back. It's good to see you. If you're interested in learning how to straight razor shave and all things straight razor related, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Then click on the bell next to it to be notified when I upload videos. That way you won't miss a thing. My one word is heart, and I put my heart into everything I do. And I believe every time you shave with a straight razor, you're going to get a better shave. We're looking at 5 areas that a beginner should look at when considering straight razor shaving, starting right now. Number 1, let's look at all the parts and what they're called on a straight razor. We'll be using my Frederick Herter & Son. This is the number 76. And we're going to start, this is the spine, here is the edge, this is the tip or the point, right here you have the toe, this is the heel, this right here, that is the shoulders, this is the tang, and this is the tail. Now, we have the hinge pin or pivot pin right there, and this is the scales, all right? Now here, if you can see that, I've got jibbing on the top, and there is jibbing on the bottom of this as well. And with all of that, you have all the parts of a straight razor. Number 2, the tip. Now this is a round tip, and this is brilliant if you're starting out new. This would be a good tip to start with because it is much less dangerous than other things. Next, this is my Wade & Butcher for Gentleman's use. And now this on the tip has got a barber's notch. Now, these really aren't used by people shaving themselves. This would be used by a barber. And what you would do if you were a barber, you'd hold it like this, and then you would shave other people. I can't imagine shaving myself like that. So, this is just going to contribute to the cool factor for me, all right? I think it's cool, it looks neat, but not necessarily that useful unless you're trying to shave someone else. Next, here we go. This is my Tier Izar, and this is a French tip. So see how it comes down and then swoops? That is a French point, all right? And this also happens to be a frame back. Yep. So the blade is a piece of metal, and this is the frame that it is sitting in. Pretty cool. And this is an older example of this, and really quite nice. Yep. Next, we have the square point. All right, now that really looks dangerous, and it can be dangerous. All right, so I have got this one muted, but it can still catch you if you're not careful, and I wouldn't really start with something like this, but if you were careful with it, you could definitely shave with it. So it's really good as far as that goes, but probably not for a beginner. Number 3, how to measure your straight razor. So here's what we're gonna do. This is really super simple stuff. So I would just take a scale and my razor and put it on there like that, and you can see that razor from the top to the edge here. Okay, that would be the width, all right? Now, if you were measuring this way on that blade, that would give you the length of the blade. Now, a lot of people on eBay and things like that will give you this full length here or totally full length unfolded. Don't care about that. I care about the width on the blade this way, or the length on the blade this way, and the width this way. And then I care about the thickness, all right? And you could use calipers. These are not expensive, but you could use calipers and you could measure that thickness that way. And that is how I would measure a straight razor, all right? Now, what would be the best size? I know there's a lot of people out there that say it would be great to start with a 5/8 blade. However, I'm not necessarily in that camp. I started with a bigger blade than that. And like this ZY430, okay, this is 13/16, and I think it's a good size to start with. And you could always pick that up. That's Chinese made, and it's inexpensive as well. So let's look at some of these widths. Now this one is an inch, okay? That is a pretty big blade and probably not a beginner blade, all right? Now going down in size, this one is an inch or 15/16 to an inch. And again, now I was okay with that, but maybe not the best beginner blade. This is my Miyake Best Silver Steel, and this is Japanese made. Now, if we measure that, it is 7/8 blade, all right? And this way, the working part of that blade is like 2 1/4 inches, so it's nice and short, which makes it more maneuverable. Whereas I went for my Wade & Butcher for gentleman's use, you'll find that the working part of this blade is right around 2 7/8, which is quite a bit bigger. And again, with my Parker, again, this is Swedish steel, so this is best silver steel, made in Sweden, but the razor is Japanese made. And now this, if we look at it, again, you've got like 2 7/8 length on that blade, which makes that more to handle, all right? Now, my Tier Izar, this is the Bison. Again, this one is brilliant because it has got a like 2 1/4 length on the working part of that blade, which is really good. This is also brand new, and it has the round nose, and it's got most of the shoulder already ground off right from the factory. This is brilliant. It has faux turtle handle or scales, and this is a brilliant beginner razor. What is the best size for a straight razor? I would have it somewhere between 6/8 and 7/8. So kind of that sweet spot is 13/16. And that will give you more blade where you'll be able to hone it and it'll last longer. Now, I do have this, which is my VC Heldestrand, and this is a 4/8 blade. This is absolutely as small as I would go for a beginner, and this has got the square point as well, which not necessarily a beginner razor either, but I wouldn't go any smaller than this if you're a beginner. Number 4, what kind of grind would be good for a beginner. I'm going to show you some. Again, this is my Wade & Butcher for gentlemen's use. This is a near wedge, and how you can tell that is if you put something flat on there, you'll be able to see just a little bit of light, I think, through there. So what happens is when you're honing, you're on the spine and on the edge, touching the stone at the same time. I really do enjoy these near wedges. They are brilliant, and I think they're probably some of the most comfortable and forgiving razors as well. Now, next to that, this is my Parker Best Silver Steel. Look at that. That is a quarter hollow. And again, I really like that. And if I do this, you can see that there is a bit of light, right, that comes through there. And again, great. These are brilliant as far as shaving. I really enjoy it. Now, the wedges, the quarter hollows, they will be a little harder to strop because you have much more material here that is in contact with the strop versus a hollow ground. Now, I'm also going to show you that Miyake silver steel, okay? Now, again, this is like a quarter hollow. I really do enjoy this, and this is short enough that it makes it really good for a beginner. All right, next, we're going to go with my Izar Bison. This one is a full hollow, and as we look at that, if I do this, see how much more space is there than with the quarter hollow or the near wedge. All right, now this will be able to be stropped easier than the others. Now, if we look at this, my Ace of Spades, number 76, okay, again, this is a full hollow, and it is brilliant, works really well. It is maybe a little wider than what a beginner would want, but with the round nose, it definitely makes it more forgiving. Now, my Fine Edge Ostiso, okay, this, I gotta tell you, this has got to be either a full hollow or possibly an extra hollow, but I like it and it does shave well. Again, maybe not a beginner razor though. Number 5, carbon steel or stainless steel, which would be better for a beginner razor? I started with stainless steel. Okay, now I do know a lot of people believe that carbon steel just shaves better, but in my experience, I really haven't seen that. I can't hardly tell the difference between one or the other. Now, what I will tell you though, is the stainless steel is harder, so it will take longer to hone and sharpen and get that nice keen edge, where carbon steel, it can be honed much quicker, but it is softer, and that is something to keep in consideration as well. Which one will hold the edge better? The stainless steel will hold an edge better because it's harder. All right, now if we look at this, this is the Parker Best Silver Steel, then that is Swedish steel. Now this one is stainless, okay, because it is silver steel. One of the first silver steels that were made actually was mixing silver into the carbon steel, and that makes this a stainless steel razor. Now, what I will tell you is this is harder than your standard razor though. okay? And it takes a bit more to get an edge on this razor than it would a carbon steel razor, all right? So keep that in mind. But once you get an edge on it, the edge will last. Now, this is my ZY430. This actually says no stain on it, which means it is stainless steel. This does come from China, not maybe the best steel, but it is stainless. Now, here's the thing. Stainless steel doesn't mean it won't rust. Stainless steel will rust. However, it just takes a lot longer and has to be in harsher conditions, all right? Now, what I would do when I'm shaving, I will only get from here down wet, okay? And I will wipe that blade off when I'm shaving. Never get the hinge pin or the pivot pin, okay? Never get it wet. That's not good, okay? We don't get the tail wet. We don't get the scales wet. Only from here down will we get wet, and then you'll have a fine razor that will last a lifetime. Even this one will last a lifetime if you take care of it. Now, this is carbon steel, all right? So, is it a problem? It's not a problem, okay? If you get it wet from here down when you're shaving and you wipe it off, never get that hinge pin or pivot pin wet, you'll be fine. This will last a lifetime easily, all right? And it's a beautiful razor. Again, this has got the round nose, and it would be a fantastic beginner razor because of the size of that blade here. Makes it more maneuverable. Carbon steel will rust and stainless steel will rust, okay? The only difference is the carbon steel will rust quicker than the stainless steel. And you just need to take care of both of them and you would be fine with either carbon steel or stainless. Like I said, I did go with stainless in the beginning just because I was worried about it. And this one would be a good place to start if you're looking for something affordable and you don't want to deal with a whole lot of rust issues, okay? But you're gonna have to take care of it. You're gonna have to protect it, either oil it or wax the blade, one or the other, and you'd be fine. What makes a good straight razor for your first straight razor as a beginner? I would say it's got to do more with the size this way of that active part of that blade, and the width of the blade could be a matter as well. However, I wouldn't go with 5/8. I like 6/8 to 7/8. So the sweet spot ends up being 13/16, and that is a perfect size to start with. And this one actually is 7/8, where the ZY430, that is 13/16. So when you're looking for a straight razor for a beginner, you're going to be thinking size, economy, price, value. If you know you're going to be totally in this, you can get something new and be perfectly fine. Now, if you are just curious, go ahead and get something less expensive that will work and it'll be fine. Not a big deal, because it's all about the edge. It's not about everything else. Everything else just makes it look better. Doesn't necessarily make it shave better. What is the best straight razor for a beginner? That's going to be up to you and what you think. Now, if I have left anything out, or you have a suggestion for a beginner straight razor, go ahead and put it down in the comments. That would be brilliant, and I look forward to reading all your comments. Click up here to see my latest video. Click over here to see a video specially picked out for you. Click on this one to see how to start straight razor shaving the series. Have a great shave and a good day, and I will see you next time on Adventures in Wet Shaving.